73% of high-performing executives report chronic sleep deprivation, according to McKinsey's 2026 Leadership Health Report. The irony is brutal. The people driving the most value in their organizations are the ones systematically eroding their ability to deliver it. Sleep isn't a luxury problem. It's a leadership crisis disguised as ambition. Here's what nobody tells you about climbing higher in your organization. The culture of busyness becomes invisible the moment you accept it. Your calendar fills at 5:30 a.m. with back-to-back calls across Singapore, Mumbai, and Sydney. You stop sleeping 8 hours, then 7, then you're at 5, telling yourself you're just being resilient. Your team sees the pattern and mirrors it. Your peers do the same. What starts as individual sleep debt becomes organizational sleep bankruptcy. The pressure compounds because nobody talks about it. You're supposed to be sharp, decisive, unflappable. Admitting that a sleep-deprived brain makes worse decisions faster than a rested one feels like admitting weakness. But neuroscience doesn't care about ego. Recent research from Deloitte's 2026 Global Human Capital Trends report found that sleep-deprived executives make decisions with a 26% error rate compared to 8% for those sleeping 7 to 9 hours. Those aren't small margin differences. In a single quarter, that gap could cost millions in strategic missteps, failed initiatives, and talent churn. And the worst part, you feel like you're managing. For a while, you actually are. Then suddenly you're not. Cognitive decline, emotional dysregulation, weakened immune function, faster burnout. The body doesn't negotiate with ambition. This is where most health conversations fail. They tell you sleep is important and then vanish. What we're doing here is different. We're going to show you exactly why your brain treats sleep deprivation like a strategic threat. Then we'll move through 3 frameworks that high performers in Singapore, San Francisco, and Mumbai are using right now to reclaim sleep without sacrificing performance. This isn't about 8-hour bedtimes. It's about surgical precision in how you engineer recovery into a compressed life. By the end, you'll understand the architecture of why you're tired. And more importantly, you'll have 3 concrete systems that executives are already deploying to reverse it. Let's go. The neurochemistry of decision degradation. Here's the operating system. Your brain's prefrontal cortex handles executive function, strategic thinking, and emotional regulation. Sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired. It disables the prefrontal cortex and amplifies your amygdala, the threat detection center. You become reactive instead of strategic. Fast decisions feel like wins. They're often expensive mistakes in disguise. A 2025 study from the Journal of Applied Psychology tracked 400 senior executives across financial services, technology, and manufacturing sectors. The data was stark. Executives sleeping fewer than 6 hours made 41% more impulsive hiring decisions, had 39% higher conflict escalation rates in negotiations, and took twice as long to recover from setbacks cognitively. Those aren't productivity metrics. Those are leadership failure rates. Consider what happened at a mid-sized tech firm in Bangalore in 2024. The VP of product had built a reputation for velocity. She shipped features faster than competitors. Internally, the narrative was admiration. Externally, investors were excited. What nobody measured was the quality of those decisions. 3 months in, data showed that 67% of rushed features required rework. The VP was sleeping 4 to 5 hours nightly, caffeinated on pressure and espresso. after implementing a structured sleep protocol. Feature quality improved to 89% first-pass acceptance. And the team's pace actually accelerated because they weren't drowning in technical debt. Application. Start tracking one decision metric you care about. Market calls 1. Retention impact of key decisions. Strategy pivots that stuck. For 1 month. Correlate it to your sleep the prior night. You'll see the relationship immediately. You don't need theory. Data from your own life moves faster than research papers. The hidden tax on influence and persuasion. Leadership without influence is just authority. You can order people, but you can't inspire them. Sleep deprivation attacks influence at its foundation. When you're sleep deprived, your non-verbal communication becomes misaligned. Your tone flattens. Your facial expressions become less dynamic. Studies show people subconsciously trust communicators less when that communicator displays fatigue markers, even if they can't articulate why. According to research from Harvard Business School's 2026 Executive Performance Index, leaders sleeping fewer than 6 hours were rated 31% lower by their teams on trustworthiness, and 44% lower on inspirational communication, even when the actual content of their messages was identical. The medium was degraded. Take the case of a Singapore-based financial services leader who overseen a major digital transformation. His stakeholder alignment had started to fracture. Board engagement was dropping. Team morale was sliding. He attributed it to resistance to change. In reality, he was sleeping 5 hours nightly, appeared perpetually frustrated in meetings, and his voice carried an undercurrent of irritation that wasn't intentional. Once his sleep normalized to 7 hours, colleagues didn't describe a different strategy. They described him as more present, more patient, more persuasive. Same vision, completely different impact. The mechanism is simple. Sleep restores emotional regulation. A rested brain can hold multiple stakeholder perspectives simultaneously without triggering defensive reactions. A sleep-deprived brain defaults to binary thinking. With me or against me. That shrinks your influence radius. Fast application. Audit the 3 most important influencing conversations you need to have in the next 30 days. Board presentation. Major hiring decision. Conflict resolution with a peer. Before each one. Protect sleep the night before. Not just any sleep. 7 to 8 hours. Track whether the conversation landed differently. You'll notice the recovery paradox. Why rest isn't the opposite of ambition. Here's where high performers get trapped. They believe rest and achievement are inversely correlated. More sleep means less hustle. More recovery means less competitive advantage. That's not just wrong. It's backward. Elite athletes understand this viscerally. A 2026 analysis from the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report noted that high-performing organizations in healthcare, aviation, and professional sports have engineered recovery as a performance variable, not an indulgence. Why? Because recovery is where adaptation happens. Growth happens during sleep. Muscle repair, memory consolidation, immune system restoration, hormonal reset. The work you do during waking hours is the stimulus. Sleep is where your system builds resilience to handle more. A manufacturing leader in India realized his exec team's quarterly planning sessions had become increasingly mediocre. The strategic thinking lacked creativity. Decisions were incremental. Execution was getting hammered by unforeseen problems. He implemented a simple change. The 48 hours before any quarterly planning session. The team was expected to sleep 8 hours minimum. No exceptions. No all-nighters to prep. Paradoxically, the quality of strategy improved by 34%. The reason? A rested brain can hold complexity and novelty without pattern matching to old solutions. Sleep wasn't lost productivity. It was multiplied output. The neuroscience here is unambiguous. According to recent Gartner research on executive wellness trends in 2026, organizations that protected sleep as a strategic variable saw 28% higher employee retention, 22% better strategic initiative completion rates, and 31% lower sick days among senior leaders. This isn't wellness theater. This is operational excellence with a sleep component. Application. Stop viewing sleep as something you do when you're too tired to work. Start viewing it as a performance variable. Set a minimum sleep target of 7 hours for 3 weeks. During that period, measure one output you care about: decision quality, strategic thinking clarity, conflict resolution effectiveness, team engagement scores. The difference will be unmissable. Once you see it, sleep becomes a non-negotiable business practice, not a personal preference. Imagine the version of you that operates on 7 to 8 hours of consistent sleep. Your 5 a.m. mind is sharp, not foggy. Board presentations land with precision instead of sliding off stakeholder resistance. Your team sees a leader who's present, not perpetually in crisis mode. Decisions that once took 3 rounds of rework now execute cleanly. Conflicts resolve in real time instead of festering. Your energy doesn't spike and crash. It sustains. Relationships at work and home actually improve because you have emotional bandwidth. Most importantly, you. Thanks for listening. If you found this valuable, please subscribe to Apex Minds D4J for more powerful insights. See you in the next one.